What's Obama's vision? Dave, you're not good enough or smart enough or decent enough. How do I know Obama thinks that way? How do I know Tammy Duckworth thinks that way? Nancy Pelosi? Because they want to keep taking your money. They don't let you keep your money. They think you need Washington and Springfield, mostly Washington, to take care of all these things. Why do they so firmly believe that government needs to take care of everything if they did not think you were capable of taking care of yourself? And you know what? Let me close with this. I have spent a lot of years working in the inner city of Chicago trying to free up low-income African-American and Hispanic parents. Free them up from the prisons we call schools in our inner cities. And I believe in a real simple reform, that a low-income parent, I don't care what color they are, should have the freedom to choose where their kids go to school, and all the money that we put in through our taxes to pay for those schools should follow the parent's decision. School choice, school vouchers. Let poor parents decide, I want to send my child to the Catholic school down the street, the Jewish school down the street, the Lutheran school down the street, or I want to homeschool my child. I want the parent to have that choice. Democrats won't allow that at all. They don't want to give parents that right. And I've gotten into arguments with them many times over the years. I think most low-income parents know what's best for their kids. I think they're capable and smart enough to pick a good school for their kids. My Democrat opponents don't think they're that way. So we can't give them that freedom. We can't give them that choice. We need to imprison them in these schools. We need bureaucrats to decide where they go to school. I ask you, all of you, what's the more optimistic view? And I hope Romney campaigns this way. Because as far as I'm concerned, President Obama has the darkest, meanest, most dismal view of all of us. It's like none of us can take care of ourselves. And even worse, it's like if you leave us alone and you leave Dave free, he's not going to take care of people around him. So over the years, we keep taking more and more of what Dave makes. And we've reached a point now, folks, where it's not Dave taking care of his family anymore. For too many of us, it's government taking care of us. And you know what? If we don't change this really quickly, there darn well may be no government. There darn well may be nobody to take care of us another 10 to 20 years because we are on the road to bankruptcy. And worse than that, as a people, I don't know how to say this without being judgmental. As a people, it's weakened us. It's weakened us as a people. So I don't mind telling people on my RV, telling me and all of us, it's time to grow up. If you're not prepared to grow up and do what's right this election, you're not going to vote for me. You're going to vote for President Obama and Tammy Duckworth because they are not going to tell you to grow up. They're going to tell you the exact opposite. I'm just going to keep giving you things. I don't care. I really don't care, they say. And I want to make sure Tammy Duckworth understands it's not me saying this. I don't care, Tammy Duckworth and Barack Obama will say, if Medicare is going to be gone in 8 to 10 years. They know that. They know that. But they're not asking anybody to grow up and do anything about it. We're past that point. So I'm going to stop there. Let's open this up to questions. And remember, our one rule, respect each other. Yes, ma'am.
Which camera do I look into?
Oh, no, look at me.
Oh, okay. Economic growth, 2.2% figures just came out. Is it morning again in America, spelled with a U? You know what Reagan's economic growth was at this time, heading into his second term?
Averaging about 6 to 7%?
8%. What's wrong with Obamanomics? What about taxes, regulations, cheap energy, whatever, you name it?
Well, again, I'd answer your question by saying, let's all remember, since the Great Depression, This is the weakest, most anemic recovery we've ever experienced.
Exactly.
Hold on, that's the president. A poll came out last week. 83% of the country believes we're still in a recession. It's not our fault. Why are things in such miserable shape right now? Well, again, let's just quickly go through it. President Obama comes into office. He did not create this mess. He had a big mess on his desk. He created the recovery. He decided what to do, and he said, because again, we know how he believes, that big government will create jobs. Big government will fix, and remember the word, stimulate the economy. How stimulated do you feel? $1 trillion some dollars later, a few job plans later, it's like our country, it's like we're laying down on our backs, trying to get up, and he, the president, my dear, has put so much regulation, debt, and uncertainty on top of us that it's hard for us to get up. Look what Reagan did. Wasn't that long ago? Reagan came into office. He had a big mess on his desk. He did the exact opposite. He said, I'm going to take this thing called government, and I'm going to get it off of people. I'm going to cut taxes. I'm going to cut regulations. I'm going to get government out of the way, because the thing that's America, we create jobs out here in Wheeling. We create jobs out here in Elk Grove. And all we want government to do is kind of get out of the way and let us do our thing. Reagan got out of the way and let us do our thing, and away we went. President Obama believes in something very different. Washington needs to sit on us and force us to grow.
I was going to say the stable dollar problem. Who would invest in America if the dollar is getting weaker and weaker? And what are they going to get back? Cheap, worthless dollars. You can't keep running the printing presses.
Right.
QE2, QE3, you name them.
Right.
Because we continue to borrow money. I don't have it up because we don't have our big projector yet. But from now on, I'm going to put behind me in my town halls the debt clock.
Oh,
You're just going to see it second by second, all the money we're borrowing. All the money we're borrowing. It can't sustain itself. If Greece is right over here and a few other European countries are right over here, we're within a handshake distance. It's not hard to understand. We talk about how important this election is. Folks, it's really an easy election. None of this should get personal. You know, Tammy Duckworth's going to film every word I say to try to find some controversial word. It's really not that hard, Tammy. It's almost like you could put bags over Duckworth's face and Walsh's face, so nobody knew who we were or what we looked like. And all voters knew is, this is where Walsh stands on issues, this is where Duckworth stands on issues. It's pretty simple. Pick your issue. Walsh thinks we need to be drilling for oil and natural gas right now. Duckworth doesn't want us drilling at all. Walsh wants to repeal Obamacare because it will destroy this country. Tammy wants to expand Obamacare. She believes in universal government-run health care. A lot of people believe that. And that's all people need to decide. Where am I on these issues? The presidential campaign should be the very same way. Romney and Obama. Folks, this should be the easiest campaign election we've had in years. If anybody's confused about where they stand this year, you shouldn't be voting. This time it's pretty easy. And all you need to do, great question, kiddo, all you need to do is look at the way Obama and Reagan reacted when they came into the Oval Office with the big mess on their desk. One put government on top of us, one got government out of the way. And look at how we took off. It's not hard. It's not hard. Yes, sir.
The Catholic Church believes in freedom of conscience. I took in a Mass down at the Holy Name Cathedral at Cardinal George was there with a number of visiting cardinals. The Obama administration is trying to turn it into a contraception issue and deny the validity of the issue. Just wanted to bring that issue forward to your attention.
Thank you. I will simply say, if the Catholic Church, and I am a Catholic boy, if the Catholic Church believes in freedom of conscience, then I would argue we're all Catholic this year. We as Americans believe in freedom of conscience.
I'll let the Cardinal know.
Well, and yeah, let the
You
Cardinal
think I'm
know.
kidding, don't you?
Let the Cardinal know the church just expanded dramatically. And I hope, because my Catholic Church, for any of you who are Catholic, the Catholic hierarchy has tended to stay out of politics. I think that's changing a little bit this year. Look, folks, none of this should be a surprise. Your government 3 years ago, two years ago, signed into law a piece of legislation none of them understood, called Obamacare. None of them, forget about even reading, none of them understood. 2.5 years later, we know a few things. We know that small businesses have decided, I'm scared to death of Obamacare and I'm not going to hire anybody. I'm going to wait, see what happens with it. I hope it goes away. We now know, because now agencies have told us, it's going to cost a heck of a lot more than what we were told. Is that a surprise? We now know that to basically fund this new entitlement, he's going to rob billions and trillions from Medicare to pay for it. So for all of you seniors who are concerned about Medicare, for all of our seniors on Medicare Advantage, there are estimates that within 3 or 4 years, half of the seniors on Medicare Advantage will be off of it to pay for Obamacare. And to your point, sir, we should not have been surprised, but we now know Obamacare is trying to uproot the very freedoms this country was founded upon. And let us hope and pray that the Supreme Court understands, and in June, the Supreme Court will say, as they should say, that my government can't force me to buy something simply because I breathe.
Yes, yes.
And my government can't force a church to act against their conscience. Never, ever.
Yes, yes.
And you know and I know what's going to happen if it ever gets to that point. Who is a priest going to listen to? His president or his God? And I think even Obama knows that. But again, look, I get in trouble because I've been very outspoken about this president. I do not think he knows any better. He was not ready to be president. We all know that. Good God. Most of the people who voted for him now know he had no business being president.
Yes.
Let's hope this year, we're focused on where the country's at, and we're not blinded by other factors. Not this year. It's too important. Other thoughts, issues, questions, folks? Yes, sir.
The latest debt twist, of course, is student loans, where the federal government has created such demand over the past 20 years that obviously the cost of education has skyrocketed. And I believe that Congress wants to accommodate this reduction in the interest rate by paying for it via, I believe, a reallocation of funds from some medical account. And then I believe the president wants to simply go further into debt. How will that play out? And will the Republican House stay strong to, if we want to subsidize that more, can we at least pay for it?
Look what this president's doing. He was running around a month and a half ago basically saying free contraceptives for everybody. Free contraceptives. What's he been doing now the last couple of weeks? Basically free college education. Student debt, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, you'll pick it up.
Right.
You'll pick it up, I'll pick it up.
He'll pick it up.
Houses? How about
He'll
free
pick it up.
houses?